Hey folks, AJ here. We are back at a Greater Faith, and what we're gonna do here, I'm gonna try and set up the other computer, get that straight, and then try and at least put the mount on the back wall. Don't have enough people to actually, or enough ladders tall enough to get that TV hung, but I want to chase the cable back to where, well, at least find where internet is and everything like that. Had a wonderful subscriber sent me a headlight, so I really appreciate that. Their username is going to be tagged down below, but what we're going to do now is focus on maybe putting the mount up there, chase the line to find out where that one is, the video to go back. I may pull an extra long cable to connect to it just to make sure it goes back that way, to see if the TVs show up in the fellowship hall. Get up in the ceiling while it's cool, put those wires up, make a hole here for the TV cables to route through here. I'm gonna get some conduit to hide that, so we're gonna bring that down and then find the path of how this is gonna go over. But yeah, that's what we got going on, so let's get to it. So it's always a good thing to know you come back the next day, everything is working. So I brought an extra cable. We are going to set up the joystick. So right now, since I don't have an IP, or we don't have a connection to the main internet here, I just did a closed network. So again, if you don't have, if you think, oh, I don't want to get one of these IP-based controllers because I don't have a network, let me just show you, you don't need to. You can set the network yourself. So like right now, I have the computer set to a static IP address as well as the camera. We can just come in here. I set the joystick to the same thing, to a static IP, and we're just gonna search. And I hope I thought I turned, and there we go. I was going to say, did I turn on the that control for this, but we did. So we're just gonna add it, put in a password, which is admin, all right, there we go. And there's our camera. So as you can see, we're connected, but we don't have any internet. So there we go. So even if you don't have internet, you can do this by setting a static IP address on all the devices. Make sure they're different, of course, but there we go. Now, once we have internet here, you know, we'll have it and adjust the IP addresses accordingly. So we would have to search for this again, but that is good to go. All right, so let me come over here. Need to find a location to punch a hole through here so that we don't damage anything. So I'm gonna measure over and make a jack here, a pass-through plate to pass the wires for the TV here. All right, so we measured kind of good. So we're all the way right there. And got the plate right there in the corner, so that'll be good. So let's put this low voltage box here and then measure the other side, and we go from there. All right, cables are done, joystick is done. Like I said, we're gonna come back and tack those down right across that baseboard. Get a conduit to go straight down from under each TV for the power, and that, since that's shielded, I think it'll be fine to run the power cable. But I don't understand these big TVs. I don't know why they don't have a longer power cable with them, but we're most likely gonna have to put an extension cord or something to get them long enough to reach where it needs to. But what's the plan now? Y'all can tell like I'm procrastinating. Might as well go into the fellowship hall and put them cables up there and punch a hole and all that other fun stuff. So let me get my bit to cut a hole and get my headlight. That, again, I am very thankful that a subscriber sent me. Yay, thank you. So I can see what's going on. We're gonna go up here, run the cable, and see where we go from there. All right, so pretty much the plan is to take down the TVs in the fellowship hall, and it only has one keystone in the back for the coax. I'm gonna put this dual plate on here so I can have a jack for the Ethernet that goes to the ORI, but then also for the existing plate. So we got these just to give it space. And I didn't have my bit over here so that I can take the plates off. And let me bring my termination stuff and we'll go from there. All right, folks, PSA tip for y'all. I know non-technical people, I don't want to say that derogatory, but the people don't understand this. A lot of times they're like, I don't want to see the dangling cables from up under here. So people zip tie stuff and just push cables up in here. Don't do that. Zip ties, nothing is permanent. If you need to maintenance, get it behind it. Don't zip tie anything. So it took a long time for us to pull this. I had to cut the power cable, the HDMI, because somebody balled the cables in a knot, tied them in a knot, zip tied them, and then wedged them behind this mount to where the quick release cables were also all cinched up. So you couldn't even get to it. I had to cut everything just to pull that down. Don't do that. Please don't do that. Please. All right, folks. So because of the tightness on these boxes that were on the wall, I decided to cut them out. So we're going around cutting all those out because it was making it difficult to fish new cable up. So cut out these existing boxes that are nailed into the studs and putting some low voltage ones in, so we have more than enough workspace instead of just that tiny little hole to try and fish new cables through blind. So that gives me plenty of room, as well as anybody in the future if they just want to put some other cables up there. Also, going back to what I was saying, it's nothing the matter with you tying down your cables. Use Velcro zip ties. That makes it easier, so you can always remove them after the fact and you don't have to cut stuff. So all right, now for simplicity's sake, we are going to pull new cables and just use the existing ones that are in the ceiling for pull strings to each of the locations. So as you can see, we have the other end that we had on the ORI here, and we're gonna go up and pull each one of these, which will give us new cable, and I have more than enough cable that's needed. So the idea is fish all that through the wall and it will come back over here somewhere. But we'll see once we go up here to see what we got going on. And maybe I should have ate more breakfast, or maybe I shouldn't have worked out this morning because I'm dragging right now. So we shall see where we go from here. All right, just came down and it looks like upstairs is going to be a little bit more work than I thought, just because of the confined space. So it looks like the seal plate where they ran these cables, the hole is wide enough only for that one cable. So what I'm thinking is, just like that hole, we're gonna put another access hole right above it, right as close to the ceiling as possible. So I have enough space to come in and widen that hole. And then we'll have two places so we can feed the cable through and then pull it all the way over. That's the plan. Don't really have the energy for it right now, but what I plan to do is made the hole and pushed up a bunch of cable for the PTZ. I'm gonna find that up here, run it over, and try and pull it down over here, as well as see if I can find the lead that's going over into the sanctuary from that one cable. Maybe put a test, but let's get that done. And like I said, energy is drained going through the ceiling for right now. All right, we're trying to find the cable, for the PTZ that we pushed up. We should be at the center, right around here. All right. Thankfully, it is not super hot up here. Now we just gotta, now you see we have a wall right here, which is gonna be a little problematic to try and get to the other cables. But there's already cables here, so it must be a way. And I think those are my cables right there on the floor. Looks like that's an access door too. So let me go up, under to get over this AC duct. Oh. All right. Oh, yep, those are our cables, so we are good. And looks like we can get to this door to get to the other side. So yay, my cables. And more of the same. So we'll come back that way, and that's where the other cables are feeding through. So we've taken y'all on this fun little trip. Let me get these cables and get up out of here. All right, folks, so ran into a little issue. We just finished talking with the trustee that got us here. When you pull cable in the ceiling, and well, down walls, there's a chance that you're gonna come across a firewall that will stop fire from spreading up, as well as when you're near windows. So that is the issue here. So we got the cable, but there is a firewall right here, just a beam, a 2x4, 2x6 that's running parallel to the ground right there. That most likely, again, that they just have a hole that's big enough just for the existing cables, about a nickel size. And then there's another one right here. Now this isn't going to be an issue because another TV can be hung and that will hide that. And then we got another one here. So the idea is to open this up, just put an inch by inch or 2 inch by 2 inch kind of like notch in the firewall so cables can run down there and we'd be good to go. And I just wanted to run that past them to make sure that's going to be fine, so it doesn't look tacky having plate over plate. And he was like, as long as it's neat, that's fine. Now we also could have ran just cut a canal all the way up in the drywall, just a sliver, and pull that whole piece off and have the drywall be replaced. But they were saying it's kind of hard for them to find drywall people here because they're needing some other work around here, and they were saying it's going to be quite a while before anybody was available. So he said it's fine to go with it, so that's what we're getting ready to do. And then I have to cut over to Union Grove, so let's do that and let's be up out of here. All right, folks, so like I said, here it goes. Here's the firewall here, so we just got to put a notch in that one, and then we're going to do the same thing there. I know you can't see it, but I can feel from right there to where it's just a hole in there just for these cables to go in. So yeah, it looks like this was done when there was no drywall here, so we're going to run our cables in front of this one. All right, I got the cable pulled through. Need to get some plates, but like I said, got to get ready to head over to Union Grove. I'm just going to test this right now. I have the cables connected to the camera and everything, but all the TVs are down, so I can't test that, but we can test if power goes to it. Since it's a straight line, the only thing it could be is it's a termination or something. So we got our PoE switch here. That looked like the ghost of Sparta for my PlayStation fans out there. All right, we're connected here temporarily. Do we get anything? Yes, we do. All right, we got motion, we got lights. So the wiring for this is good. Yay, another victory. And granted, it's going to be a little bit more work, but at least we got the path for our cables here. So yay. All right, so let me get my stuff that I need for the install at Glen Allen on Monday. That's an 85-inch screen TV we're going to be doing. And then get my stuff to hookup union to test out what's going on with the TVs. If not, I'm just gonna run the cables directly, because remember, we have a bunch of extra cables going from the media booth all the way back when they were doing the RCA stuff, so we might just do a direct connection. So anyway, if you like this type of content, appreciate a like, consider subscribing, hit that bell, that way you get notified when we come out with other videos to help modernize your media ministry, folks. This is AJ, we'll see you on the next video. Later.